Now, as we all know, making a swing change is really difficult. It takes a long time and it is a grind. But I say that's really more the case is because most golfers don't know how to properly practice to make a swing change. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to do in your practice, in the structure to make a swing change. And you'll be able to do it way faster and way more effortless doing it this way. So I'm Jonathan Chown with JChownGolf. Let's dive right into it. So as we said, making a swing change is a very daunting and can be a very long process, but it's actually quite simple to make it a lot quicker of a process than you might be expecting. People normally think, 6 months to a year, you could do a specific change in your golf swing in the space of a couple months there. So all we need to do, we need to structure our practice in a specific way. So regardless of what you're doing in your golf swing, what you want to change, you can use this same structure and you will get that swing change. This is how a lot of tour pros make good changes to their golf swing, is through this structure here. So for this video, I'm going to give the example of if I'm an over-the-top golfer and how I'm going to fix my golf swing if I'm an over-the-top golfer. But like we said there, we can apply this to any problem there. So let's say I really struggle, of course, swinging over the top, big slices, big pulls out there. First thing I've got to do is not just do a drill to calm down the effect of, the excessive path. I've got to first figure out, why am I swinging over the top? So this is what, if you've watched a lot of my videos, this is the root cause issue. You've got to figure out, why am I swinging over the top there? So let's say I'm an over the top golfer who has a very overactive upper body in transition. It rotates too fast in transition into the downswing there. That will cause the club to go over the top there. So there's my root cause. So when I have identified my root cause to whatever my problem in the golf swing is, that is my first area that I really need to practice quite a lot of. Now, rather than jumping straight into a drill straight away, hitting a golf ball, which there's an element of that absolutely, we need to be able to get the movement down perfectly, or even so exaggerated the other way. So to get so-called perfect or over-exaggerated drills, so over-exaggerating mean, let's say I'm over the top, that'll mean trying to swing big from the inside. That will be very hard for us to do with a golf ball there to start off with. So we need to do what's called dry drills. So dry drills ultimately means drills without a golf ball. So let's say again, overactive upper body rotation here. I need a dry drill to do to be able to get myself to either do the perfect move to get the repetitions or to over exaggerate and do the opposite of my move there. So let's do my favorite dry drill for this problem, and that is called the wall drill here. Now the wall drill, all we do, we set up to, let's say right here to where I'm about half a club's distance away from the wall. Now what I do, get up to the top of my backswing, stop the club on the wall there. If I am an overactive upper body rotator causing my over the top, you're going to see how the club is going to really detach from the wall. And you can see how windy it is here in the UK today. That almost blew down on top of me. So what we're going to see here, yep, if I overactively rotate my upper body, the club's going to detach from the wall. So it's going to give me feedback. So what I've got to do here, I've got to slide that club down the wall in transition. So what it's doing, of course, like we said, it's giving me good feedback, but it's also getting me to do more of a perfect move there, more of an exaggerated move there. So for me to get that sliding down the wall, I can't rotate my upper body too hard there. So I can really do a good amount of repetitions of that just to give me the sensation, the feeling of what it feels like to do that. Because I wouldn't be able to do that with the golf ball there. I would still have a bit of a subconscious reaction of the upper body rotating too early. This is a way to isolate the move. This is where we get all our reps in doing. So dry drills, as we just said there, that's where we want to put the bulk of our practice initially into. So you could be doing a dry drill in between shots at the driving range, for example, to give you the perfect feeling or over-exaggerated feeling of the problem. So the next step now is where you would work on a drill that will help you and force you more than anything to get you as close as you can to do what you're doing with a dry drill there, but with a golf ball. So what this is, let's say again, over the top golfer, what I want to do, I want to get this alignment stick. So this is a really good one. Alignment stick drills force you into movements. So I'm just getting that sticking out the ground here. Now you can see I've got this stick sticking out the ground like a 45-degree angle or so. I've got it about half a distance behind with my golf club and about half a distance in front from that point as well. So this is going to force me, like I said, to get in that position. So if I swing a little bit overactive now, my upper body, I'm going to hit the stick. So I would want to swing and miss that stick, and automatically when I'm swinging and missing the stick here, my body is going to be working a little bit better as a sequence for this. So for any problem, we want something that forces us, whilst we're hitting a golf ball, to do the movement we want to do. We don't want to just be using our conscious thought. That's one big mistake I see a lot of players do. They're trying to work on something purely from conscious thought. It won't work. It won't work at all. You have to do something that forces you in the movement here if you want to make the change at a decent time as well. So like we said, I just want to swing underneath this, and if I'm swinging underneath this, my upper body is going to be working at a better sequence, and I'm not going to be swinging too much over the top there. So me even just hitting a few little balls there, I would want to start off small, build my way up first, of course, because I want to get that move into my golf swing. If I just go full swing, full speed straight away, I'm going to get very overactive, especially if you're an over the top golfer doing something like this. You're going to have a bad time, you're going to hit the stick. So that's one element of there. We need that dry drill. You can do that at home, you can do that in between shots, for example, and we need this here, something that forces us whilst we're hitting the golf ball. So, but that is not all of it. So we have our dry drills, so important. We need our dry drills to be able to do the movement ideally imperfectly, maybe slightly exaggerated. And now we've got our avoidance drill. So the drill that forces you into the position whilst hitting a golf ball. But there is another missing element here. And this is what universally every golfer, I'd say 9 out of 10 to be honest, on the driving range would be missing out when they're practicing. And this is over exaggerating your movement here. Now, all that means is, let's say for the over the top golfer, I am hitting, let's say, very out to in. So over exaggerating the opposite way, swinging really on the inside. So getting really trapped, really swinging in to out. Because there's a thing in golf called feel versus real. We'll be feeling like we're doing the correct movement, but then when we look on camera, we'll be barely different to what we actually feel like we're doing. That's because our body and our subconscious really wants to hold on to the movement pattern it normally does. So that's why you have to extreme the feel so much, is just to get you to slightly do what we need to do here. So over exaggeration here and doing it as a drill. So like we said, for the over the top golfer, that would be really trying to feel like you're getting that club stuck behind you and really going out and going into out through that golf ball. Something you have to do to rewire your brain, just like we said. So I can do this in tandem with a drill that forces me to do what I want to do. So avoidance drills here. So let's say again, over the top golfer, I would do something that, like we said, forces me to get in there. So I would do what's called a pump drill in this situation. I would get the club to shaft parallel to the ground in the downswing and replicate a very, very into out move here. And what I would do, where that club face is really on the inside of my hands, so that coming into impact would promote a very into out path, and I would make sure that club face is slightly closed there to create more of a draw flight there. So what I'll do, I'll get into that position, I'll pump it a few times, 2, and then on that third one, I'll go and hit a shot from there. So a shot might be very, very small, very little of a shot, but it would force you to do the exact opposite, and we need to do that. Now, why a lot of people don't do this is because, one, the shot goes really poorly when you do it. It's not going to be a good golf shot. It's almost intentionally meant to be bad because your body's so uncomfortable doing it. And 2, a lot of people don't do it because they don't want to over exaggerate, because they think they're going to overdo it the other way. Don't be thinking that, because there is no way you'll be able to overdo it the other way in the short term in your practice there, because your brain is so, like we said, so holding on to what it's normally going to do, it will not let you do it too extreme the other way and have that actually ingrained into your golf swing. What will actually happen? You will be doing these movements, so like the pump drill here, really over exaggerating it, and then you'll feel like you're doing that over a normal shot, and you'll be actually in the ideal spot. So let's say if I took everything away here, I get this ball because it wants to get underneath the mat. Let's say I took everything away here, guys, and I still try to hit let's say a normal shot and over exaggerated it, for example. So really feeling like I'm over exaggerating. I will then not even come remotely close, if that is like, let's say the overtop's my problem, to getting stuck on the inside when I'm over exaggerating. There'll be no way, but it will get me closer to where I want to go. We have to extreme it one way to be able to get where we actually want to. So let's run through the little routine here that we could do. So, okay, I'm at the driving range, I'm not in my net. So let me say I'm up to in a bay where I've got a wall right behind me. I'm gonna stand to that wall, I'm gonna do some dry drills here. I'm going to get the club up to the top of it, slide it down, so I'm getting really good repetitions of what I ideally want to do. That is possibly slightly exaggerated. As you can see here, the club path is slightly on the inside, maybe not so much on path. So I want to get enough of those in. So a good amount of reps where you get the feeling. Then what I want to do, come back to my bay. I want to get an avoidance drill that's forcing me in the movement. And I want to hit some shots, really just trying to miss that stick or whatever it's forcing me to try and do. So I want to hit a good number of them again. And then what I want to be making sure I've got an element of in my practice as well. So let's say you can do that, 75% of your practice. Next 25%, over exaggerate it as much as you possibly can. So I'm doing pump drill here, over exaggerating, really making sure that club head is inside my hand, the club face is slightly closed there. Boom. And that's designed for you almost to hit a poor shot, but hit the opposite poor shot there. But what I could be doing at the same time between every single shot I hit, the over exaggerated feel again. I could do that in my practice swing before I hit these shots. So like we said, if we get 75% of doing these two here, a dry drill, a drill that forces you to do it with the golf ball, and the next 25%, do those exaggerated, really extreme drills there. And in between every single shot, do some exaggerated practice swings as well. I can guarantee you that you will be in a few months getting your swing to where you want to. There'll be very intense practice sessions, but at the same time, you don't need to hit as many balls doing this. This is where you can get a really good quality without that much quantity of reps in there. You don't need to be spending hours down the driving range. Really, half an hour of a practice session, but you doing these things will be absolutely perfect. And you can imagine, you can still get good reps in at home, doing dry drills, for example. And then when you get onto the driving range or into your net, be even better for the practice. So, hope you guys learned something from this video, exactly how you need to practice to be able to optimize your kind of swing change there. So if you learned something, hit that like button. If you want more golf instruction just like this, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell button too to be notified every time I put out a video. So use this little structure here, apply it to your swing change, dry drill, avoidance drill, over exaggeration, and then you're going to be making sure you change your golf swing.